Welcome to Sims Fosters, and in this episode, I will be focusing on Jack and Em, but there's a member of this family missing, and the reason why that is because I have a storyline planned, and that storyline does involve Fetia and Em, but for the, Fetia pretty much went to work, and she never returned. And Jack has filed with the police department why, like a missing persons report, and they're trying to locate where she is because they believe that she could be potentially kidnapped by somebody. And that is actually the case. Like, she was kidnapped and she is being held captive, pretty much. And Jack is pretty much here at the house trying to tend to all the kids by himself. So he's obviously upset about his wife. He's also upset because of his sister Jessica passing away. I believe it was his sister. Let me quickly check that. I might have been some other person, but I think it was. Yeah, Jessica passed away as well. So he only has one sister remaining, and that's Grace, who is a lot older. So he's the youngest of the family. So he knows that you never know how much more time we have. He's also, obviously, his wife is gone. Gabriella, their daughter, is just growing up and all that. And he's just getting a little bit overwhelmed right now because he's used to having a little bit of help. Isaac moved out in the last episode because he has a baby now with his girlfriend, so that's not going to help any matters. But let me just quickly check the calendar and make sure nothing. Okay, we have birthdays, but I might just edit them up in the next episode, so we'll be good. And Dax is good pretty much for his things. We'll just have to edit up Yoda. But so Jack's like just waiting and waiting and waiting for a phone call from a police officer or someone trying to um get some sort of information about his wife. Like, and he doesn't want to worry the kids, obviously, but in that same right, he is worried. All the kids are off to school besides him and Gabriella. Um, Gabriella, I think you might be. Yeah, you're a little tired, so why don't you come up here and head to sleep? And maybe Jack can call, see if they heard anything about where the whereabouts of Fetia is. Um, just gonna call both of the security guards to see what they say. And the one said that they might have a lead that she's not actually too far from here. They said that they don't know exactly where, but when they tracked her phone, it's reading Magnolia Promenade, which is where we are. He said about, is there any other homes there besides that? And Jack's like, there's a home that was just built, but, I mean, the person that moved in there doesn't seem like it couldn't be him. Like, he's like a nice guy. He's all around a sweetheart. I don't think that it's him. And so they said, well, we're gonna look into it and we'll let you know when we get a chance. So they're gonna look into it, but things don't look pretty good. And by the way, in the last episode, I couldn't pronounce their new foster daughter's name. It's Ainsley. That's how you pronounce it. I said it in the last episode, but I wasn't quite sure, so I looked it up, and that was the case. But this episode, pretty much like I said, it's going to be focused on Jack really worrying about his wife, and then potentially finding out some information on himself. So he's going to do a little bit of research on the neighbor, that guy, and find out his past. So he is going to go ahead and do some research now. And so he's going to go ahead and find some research now on potentially who this new character is, that moved into, I don't think it's over here, it might be this way actually. Trying to figure out where it is. Okay, it's over here. This is the new place. And that's where Fetia is actually located at. So, it says now we have some information on the new character. He said he has a past of being aggressive and also a past of burglary. So, Jack's like, maybe I should go check around that place and see. But, I don't know. So, I think he's going to go ahead and, he said the police doesn't seem like they want to help very much. So, what he's going to do is he's going to hire a service. To watch Gabriella, and he is going to go ahead and do a little bit of research his own self. And so he's just awaiting for the nanny to arrive. Supposed to be here by 11:45, so it should be here soon. So once the nanny arrives, then we'll pick this up once we get there. Jack doesn't think that anybody is home, but he is sadly mistaken. And he's went inside, and he's run into the new guy, and, well, the new guy is acting like nothing happened and all that, but he's gonna tell him, like, listen, I know your past. Is there something you need to tell me? Like, where's my wife? Is what I'm asking you. And his name is Jaw Kidnapper, but his last name is not Kidnapper, but he is the kidnapper, so that's why it's like that. And I actually got him off the gallery. I didn't make him. But he is, like, telling him straight out, like, that he knows. Said, you need to take me to my wife now. And Jaw's like, that's not going to happen. In fact, so I'm just gonna ignore that you're even here. But as you guys can see, Fetia is actually here. She's locked in this. She's in a cell, pretty much. Kept there. But he's like, and frankly, you're actually scaring me that you're even talking about this. But I didn't take your wife, and if I did, then I would let you know. So why don't you just leave? And Jack replies by saying, I'm not leaving without my wife. These guys are pretty much arguing that Fetia's not here or not. And these guys are kind of going back and forth. The police do not know about this. Jack is pretty much trying his best, trying to negotiate with this guy, but he's not even wanting to hear it, really. And he won't let him go any further than where he is. He said, you want to get to your wife? Then fine. But you gotta go through me first. And Jack's like really furious. You could tell by the way he looks. But they actually are fighting. And Jack won. So I think Jaw is like enough, has like enough to where he's like dead, tired. And Jack like pretty much got the upper hand on him, knocked him like to the point where he's like drowsy, barely can see and all that. So he's pretty much off the bed, and he like has no recognition of Jack because Jack used the little bit of magical power that was left in his body to make him feel like that. And now he knows that Fetia is down here. He's going to go ahead and talk with her. But Fetia is like, she's like, Jack. Jack's gonna let her out. And she's pretty much just saying like she was taken from behind. So now these guys are heading back, but they're gonna call the police. They've already called the police. They've already called the police, and the police are on their way to pick up Jaw. And Jack's calling the police to pick up Jaw now, and saying, I did it, and I don't mind the fact that I have to announce that. So now these guys are able to go ahead, move on out, and Jaw will be taken to prison. So, with that said, Fetia was saved, guys. She was saved, and she's able to go back home, and all that. So, we'll have to wait and see what happens then, but I'll pick this up once they get back home. Okay, so we're back, and everybody's back at the house, and everybody's doing good, so we can actually go ahead and dismiss the nanny. I swear this nanny never ages up, though. Like, he's been the nanny, and he's been like an adult for 8 years. But, anyways, so Jack's gonna go ahead and dismiss the nanny, and they said that they're gonna take care of the kidnapper. But that doesn't mean that Fetia is going to be okay, though, because Fetia is going to have nightmares. She's gonna start feeling certain ways about things because she was kidnapped for a few days, actually. And a lot of people didn't know that, but she was actually kidnapped for a few days, and things are going to be a little bit different in this household now. But with that said, I think that we did pretty much everything we had planned in this episode. And so Jack was pretty much her knight in shining armor. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and end this one out. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Peace.